Anyone. He did it. He beat the person we basically thought was probably the best in the group.
Yeah.
2-0.
And that's going to give him a great chance because he's going to play a Terran next. Who knows who it is, and he has a good chance against that. And then he'll get at least one more chance if he's not already in the round of 8, which is so exciting, man, to see him do this.
Scary moment here for Genius. He's in the negatives right now.
Yeah.
He'll have to win the next 2 matches if he wants to go to this group.
Yeah. That's tough, man. From being a finalist to almost out.
Yeah.
He's going to have to beat one of these guys. You know, between these two, SuperNova and Virus, SuperNova by far my favorite player out of these two. But StarTale players are just kicking serious ass all over the place right now, so it's actually impossible to tell how this will go. Virus is very solid.
Yeah, Virus, definitely a force to be reckoned with. The thing about Virus, though, is I feel like I just feel like SuperNova's better when I watch him play. Yeah. There are moments where you watch SuperNova play and you have to kind of take a step back and say, wow.
Sometimes he looks like one of the absolute best Terrans around. I'm talking top 3.
Yeah.
Sometimes he looks top 3 Terran in the world. Sometimes not.
You know, I think it's because it's been historically a Terran-heavy tournament, the GSL. I think he just tends to be overshadowed. I think that's what happens to a lot of these players.
It's hard as
Virus
a
as well. I mean, this is we're moving along here in Codas, and the truth of the matter is that all these guys are very good. But
both of them won their groups with 5% of the vote.
Yeah.
Bam. There you go.
I thought SuperNova was about 3. I thought it was like
something like 3.
Insanely low numbers.
It was funny. It was like less than 4, more than 5. It was a mixed number, tasteless.
It was. All right, let's take a look at this map. But this is another place I would also vacation. This looks like a place where Uncharted put in.
On the side, man.
You ever play Uncharted? Yeah, Uncharted.
Is that like the Texas Ranger one or whatever?
No,
that's Red Dead
no, you freaking noob. That's Red Dead Redemption. God.
I have all these games, I just don't know.
In the bottom left, we have our first Terran, 1 of 2, overshadowed by some of these players. It's still good.
OGS SuperNova.
I almost didn't get that out in time for the movie.
You're like, who is this guy? I don't actually know. There he is.
There he is. In the upper right, in the blue, we have a player who I normally make some kind of disease joke about, but I can't think of one just this moment. He is
StarCraft Virus.
This guy's pretty sick. Thanks, Tasteless.
Wash your hands
before
you play him.
I hope Virus falls out of StarCraft II so I don't have to hear that ever again.
7 wins and 3 losses. And actually, if you look at some of the people he's been playing against, they're very good.
Huh.
I've heard of that. He beat Nesty.
That's pretty sick, man. Well, Nesty, I feel like Nesty messed up.
Okay, now take a look here. SuperNova.
Looks like SuperNova wants to do the proxy Marauder Rush.
Yeah. This build's pretty strong, too.
They have Virus just skimps on Marines at all. SuperNova can get out of control. So...
Yeah, some players do check for this, especially on one-on-one maps, because that's the only kind of map you can do a build like this on. And I suppose you could do it on Shikuras if you put the barracks in that little cove or whatever. But anyways, as you can see, their stats not quite as good.
Yeah, well, you know, this whole group relatively even in the votes. You know, most of these groups have like 2 players that are at like near 50%, it seems, you know. Like MC and Nesty, sick percentages compared to those people like Virus who actually make it out. So we'll have to see if Virus can do that once again. People really haven't been voting for him to get out, but a lot more than last time. So we do have concussive shells and the first Marauder on the way. And his opponent has 1 Marine and is making a reactor.
Yeah, definitely don't go up.
Now, this is actually so good for SuperNova. This could not be better for SuperNova.
I can't believe that SCV got away.
Because that reactor is slowing. I mean, it's only halfway done, so we're going to have 1 Marine against 2 Marauders, and then we're going to have Hellions as the only other unit that you can make other than Marines. So, I mean, I think SuperNova's actually just going to win this.
Yeah, it looks like this is just going to be a hard counter. It's going to be a very short game, guys.
The Marauders shouldn't straight up kill him, but they're going to get him so far ahead that it's just silly. Watch this. See, just finished that.
Oh, God.
I mean, this one Marine not even going to damage. It did kill the SCV, which is nice, but Hellions and Marines coming out. Look at that. Targeting that reactor. He's going to have to bring a lot of SCVs as well as Marines here. And see, he's going to have that third Marauder in a second here. Now, he's even going to start a fourth. A lot of times you'll see people just go 3 if defense starts up, but he's going to just make them nonstop. And all this time, he's teching up as well.
Yeah, he's. We don't have a shove it, but he's back at home, actually. Oh, my God, that was so close to Hellion said. He's back at home. Teching as we speak.
And look at this. He just keeps switching out which Marauder has more health to go in the front and tank damage. Really good moves by
The
SuperNova.
fourth one's here now, so now the fourth one's going to be the tank.
And here we go. He's going to go up there once again, targeting down Marines as best he can. Oh, takes a lot of damage that time by the
Yeah,
SCVs.
that was probably his weakest attack there.
Yeah, that was the lowest of his micro so far.
All right, so he's going to wait for that next Marauder.
Good choice.
See, as you can see, the factory's finishing up over here. He's making a medevac viruses, saying, oh my God, I'm losing so many SCVs. By the way, speaking of SCVs, the count is 21 to 16, 16 for virus.
Wow, very rough. And look at this. These Marauders going to deal a lot of damage. At this point, he's just going to go ahead and send them all.
Oh, he misclicked. He misclicked.
Oops. Should target that last red. There he goes. Snipes that off, and that's going to be just about that for this harassment. But guess what? It did its job. He got a nice, strong lead off of it. He knows exactly what his opponent's doing. Virus's whole build has been messed up. But he has that medevac, so now he's going to go and try to do his counterattacking and see how well he can get that done. But a siege tank, when it gets out, is going to be extremely good against just 4 Marines, a medevac, and 2 Hellions. And, I mean, obviously not that alone is also going to be good, but with SCVs, with the Viking that's making, he's not going to be really that scared of this.
Virus is supply blocked right now, so he can't make anything else to reinforce his attack. All right, let's see what he can do. The tank's out, and that's pretty much the end of the counterattack there for Virus. He may pick up here.
Notice he is bringing out some SCVs, just in case the Marines are dropped near the tank. But that Viking popping out, perfect. There you go.
This is not good.
Look at that, attacking those SCVs, trapping everything against the wall. And, uh-oh, Virus.
Wow.
Oh, Virus, just in a lot of trouble, man.
He's handling this so well.
Yeah, and I mean, SuperNova, his command center halfway done. Virus just starting his now, as we see there. I really like SuperNova's position. Even though we see the supplies are just so even, I just really love this. He has controlled the entire flow of the game. That build that oftentimes does a lot of damage does absolutely nothing to SuperNova. SuperNova has great tech, great units out, already having siege tanks and Vikings, 2 of the most important units.
And now you can see even, again, another little cleanup over here. Going to get that Hellion. This is just unfortunate here for Virus. It's one of these situations where he should have just checked. He should have scouted. He didn't. Now we see Virus is going to go for a Banshee. I don't know if the Cloak Banshee is going to be very effective since it's already clear that he's got a Viking out, so he's going to have more than enough to deal with it.
Well, that's the mind game of it.
Yeah.
If you've already shown a Viking and then your opponent goes Cloak Banshee, what's the odds that you made another Viking?
So you're basically saying that he thinks that he's banking on the fact that there's just because Virus is going to be cutting corners, or SuperNova is going to be trying to cut some corners here to get even more ahead. That he's going to try to pull that.
Well, yeah, I mean, this early in the game, you've already held everything off. You've already killed the medevac. Why would you make another Viking? And in fact, he's right. SuperNova made a Banshee because he's like, well, I don't need this right now.
They're both going Banshees.
There you have it.
All right, and he's going to attach that barracks to the tech lab. Banshee's now moving out.
But he is just now starting his second Viking. So that Cloaked Banshee.
Uh-oh, this is unfortunate. Okay, tank got stuck there, but he's going to lift. And they're both waiting for Cloak right now. All right, here we go. He moved in. Maybe a little bit too soon. And Cloak is not done yet. Now he can Cloak, but with one scan, he might be able to get that Banshee. Meanwhile, over here,
he doesn't have one, Faceless. No scans at all, losing a lot, but also killing a lot over there.
Oh, but he's not following over here. The Banshee
oh man,
was attacking the starport there.
Yeah, hit it like 3 times. Or 2 times, I guess. Still, that's 1 less SCV. And now there's turrets in both areas, so that's gonna...
Okay, Virus's Banshee is now gone. And with the last kill there, both Banshees are now out of the game. We're going to keep moving this game forward.
10 workers killed for each. Pretty even still. Supplies still pretty even. SuperNova just slightly ahead in SCVs. slightly ahead in siege tanks. It's just, I mean, it's quite even at this point. And both of them actually going to go for marine tank compositions, which, you know, it's a good follow-up.
Yeah, considering how this game started out.
I mean, yeah, you're generally not going to want to go mech off of any sort of herd economy.
Well, you're going to be so behind that by the time you actually get that max, that critical mass that can go out and do so much damage. I mean, frankly, it's going to be too late because whatever they're doing, they will have had the opportunity to take too much of the map.
Well, Virus moving out for some map control right now, and SuperNova going to do the same. Complete mirror at the moment. And Virus just a little bit closer to SuperNova may make him turn around. And if he makes him turn around, that is actually a gigantic victory for him.
Big 2 passing ships in the night. The armies missed each other. Now he's going over here. Virus says to occupy this location, sieging up. If he can get those other 2 tanks sieged up as well.
Oh, man. Great positioning for Virus, but a flank with these SCVs coming on for SuperNova. And his Marines doing a great job spreading out, killing everything. But right now we have 21 SCVs killed by Virus. Wow, that's actually...
He checks whether your keyboard or Tosis.
Sure.
Oh, there it is. As far as the tank count goes right now, SuperNova 3 to Virus's 1. So that's something to keep in mind as well. The tank is a staple unit in Terran versus Terran.
SuperNova does have the better army. And in fact, his SCV production has just been so much better than Virus's this game that despite losing 21 SCVs compared to just like 10 or 11 lost by Virus, 34 SCVs for SuperNova now against 37 of Virus. So really impressive by SuperNova here.
All right, he's going to push over here, a gully push. And this is a great move to do, especially on this map, because so oftentimes the other Terran player is not guarding this location. Now stimming going down here, avoiding the siege tank range. Nice, getting the Banshee.
Well, Virus right now looks like he's going to have to lift up at least a single barracks, and that's where his stim is researching, and that's a huge deal, man.
Oh yeah,
the fact
good
that
call
his stim
there.
is half done and he's going to have to lift that off is terrible news for him. Terrible news indeed.
It's actually just destroyed. He doesn't even manage to save the barracks. And looks like he's going to get some more siege tanks over here. Elevating them in towards the main. He can get more buildings and maybe even get to where the SCV line is.
This is going to be so annoying. Virus has to clean this up with just the utmost precision. Now, SuperNova doesn't have a lot of other units here right now, so he can just send in things like SCVs or Marines, and there's no Marine buffer, so that's a big deal. And that's exactly what he's going to do. He does have to clean this up no matter what, and he will, in fact, clean this up. SuperNova's rest of his units coming a little bit too late, and he's going to have to get out of there.
Really nice there by SuperNova.
Yeah. And he killed off more SCVs of Virus, so at this point they both killed 21 SCVs each, very, very close there. But SuperNova's SCV production has been so much better. He's at 44 to 33.
This has been a pretty cool game so far.
Very back and forth,
very dynamic.
Even. I've liked SuperNova's position basically for the whole game, but at the same time, it's still very close. You can't quite predict it for him yet.
You can see that Virus is really good at being a scrappy player. You know, he's very good at when he's just, you know, with limited resources and limited position options, he could still pull a rabbit out of his hat. All right, now we got the little mini drop coming in over here for SuperNova. He's going to try to push out again. He may push in the same location. We're going to find out.
Well, right now, we have to ask ourselves, who's going to go ahead and take that third base? Now, SuperNova has shown us recently with his TVT style that he actually likes to keep on constant aggression with a unit composition like this. He loves to just keep going up siege in positions where you're going to trade unfavorably. And it's been working so far from this game, but not as well as we've seen in some of his other matches.
All right, here he goes now. He's dropping into the main. Remember, every SCD counts right now. And by the way, we still do not have a stim complete here for Virus, so he's unable to go run down there and gun down the medevac. So that's another thing very annoying to deal with.
And look at this, SuperNova. I was going to say Super Virus. I'm like, oh, that's the scariest of all. You know, he was going up to actually try to put on more pressure, but he's got to be really careful because Virus is starting to get better at defending this. He has a couple additional tanks. And that's really what matters for defense. Even though SuperNova has a few more Marines, those siege tanks, if placed correctly, should be able to really hold SuperNova's aggression back.
All right, here's another little drop. This one will not be effective. Will he get the medevac out, though? Looks like he indeed will. You really never want to lose the medevac with the drops. You get so behind. In TVT, there's points of times where you might just end up being forced into making Vikings, and that's not good if you're low on medevacs.
Yeah. Well, he did stim, and now he's running up. Tasteless, he got him out of position. Well, Virus is actually going for the base trade, so not exactly out of position.
Right.
And that's exactly what we're going to have here, Tasteless, a base trade scenario. And how turtly can these two be? Basically, they're both going to want to go up their ramp and be as cost-efficient against the army, trying to come up as they possibly can.
Is he going to rip?
Oh, man. Didn't get those depots up.
Didn't get the
Did not
depots up
siege
in
his
time.
tank. And I'm liking this position for Virus now, Tasteless. Even though his supply is a bit lower, he's been more defensive at the top of his ramp.
Who's
SuperNova
actually
has
got the
stemmed
better
a lot
army?
of times.
If their armies against each other, which one would win?
If it's in like choke area, Virus would win. If it's in the open, SuperNova would win. He has more Marines. But I mean, we'll have to see how this goes. It is kind of a crazy base trade going on. But let's look at what they have around the map. I mean, both players floating out command centers. SuperNova has two that look like they're going to escape, whereas Virus just has the one.
Also, the one for Virus is not really going to be able to be deployed anywhere convenient. I mean, essentially, a SuperNova can just use his two command centers, put them on opposite sides of the map, and it's going to be very difficult for Virus to deal with that.
And in fact, he saved his SCVs, Tasteless, whereas the SCVs of Virus are going to die. There's a lot of SCVs sitting around for SuperNova. He can actually just go, set up another base, and then just try to do it like a zoning defense, because really right now the strength of Virus is in his siege tank count, not his Marine count. So he doesn't want to do let a siege tank push occur, because Virus with 7 against 4 would do pretty well, even though I do have to say SuperNova, though, on second count, he has 2 Vikings. So that's a big deal.
Oh, every unit counts, and the medevac goes down. And take a look at the supplies here, guys. 76 to 32. And their armies are somewhat similar in size and threat. But the problem is that, again, as Artosis said, it's all those SCVs.
Yeah, the SCVs plus the Vikings are really what are going to... I mean, that's so huge for him. Even though with less siege tanks, he has the vision advantage. He can actually do things like push in. Now, Virus, unfortunately, his SCV counts as 0, which means he can build a grand total of 0 supply depots. And he has a grand total of 0 supply depots, which means that he can't even drop supply. So basically right now, he has to go kill his opponent, because he has to drop below 11 supply to actually build anything. He can drop mules. What good is that going to do him? No good at all whatsoever. Scanning is all he's going to be able to do. While SuperNova, he has a lot of SCVs to build supply depots with. He has 2 command centers. He has a lot of his buildings left. He has Vikings for anti-air, so it can't just be a complete draw. SuperNova's just going to chill, man, and start mining minerals. Great situation for him.
Yeah, it's really smart of them.
Virus realizes, okay, I have to push, but with the Vikings, he's not even going to have high ground vision.
You know, so much of what a base trade when you're going to win it, it's about did you get your workers out in time.
That's very true. You need your workers, man. It's so important. So many base trades are lost on the back of just not having enough workers out to put your opponent in a terrible position. All right, well, I mean, this is a very hard fight for Virus to actually win.
I think this is actually almost impossible for him to win.
It is almost
and
impossible.
Here's their Banshee for SuperNova, now moving out. And there it is, GG. He realizes it.
Yeah. There's
well
just
played.
No way. Can't break that ramp. Good.
That was actually a really good TVT.
Yeah, it was very close. SuperNova just showed a little bit better skills this game.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. But that's just game number 1. We'll have to see. Can Virus come back, or will we see a Nanoboss SuperNova match? That would be pretty awesome. One of my favorite Protoss versus one of my favorite Terrans.
I think Virus was behind the entire game. He played well, but it was the smart move with the SCV evacuation that really allowed SuperNova to win that.
What a situation that forced. He's like, well, I'm going to build in mine. I don't think you have SCVs out. If you do, please, let's start this over on other sides of the map.
Let's touch on that, though, again. any base trade is a huge chunk of that is about the workers. In PvP, I've had moments where I'm blinking my stalkers into the main, and I'm expecting their army to turn around, just like when they're leaving, to head towards me. Usually, they got
happens all the time, man.
And then I see them heading towards my base, and that's the moment where I go to their Nexus and blink on top of the probes and start killing the probes, chase the probes always. And what do I do at home? I don't start trying to make defense, or anything like that. I just take all my probes, I leave, I have them scatter all over the map. It's the only way to do it.
Same thing for PvC. If we're going to see a base trade scenario, Muta style against any sort of Protoss ball, you have to bring probes with you. If you think that if they have a bunch of Mutas, basically, here's a tip for you guys. If you're moving out with a big attack Protoss and they have a ton of Mutas, bring probes with you. Bank a little bit of money. It's okay to have 1,000 minerals. Normally your army actually beats their army if you fight straight up. So if you can kill off a ton of their stuff and then have actually a new base, there you go. All right, anyways, next map, Ohana. The game is starting. SuperNova against Virus. I waited. GSL. The coolest, the best in the world.